What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you are new, my name is Dave, and if you didn't guess from the name of my channel, I own a yellow 2004 Corvette. So if you're here for the first time, maybe you're one of Matty's subscribers, and if you're here for the first time, if you like Corvette content, consider subscribing. And then if you're new to the In the Passenger Seat, this is basically a series where I bring on fellow YouTubers, one, to talk about their cars, obviously, because that's what everybody's into, but also to talk more into the personal life of that particular YouTuber, just to get to know them a little bit more on a personal level than just what you see on YouTube and through the camera. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching this replayed, drop a comment if you have any other YouTuber that you would want me to bring on here. I do so far have a nice list of people that I'm bringing on. So if you drop a comment, let me know who you'd like to see on here, and I'll reach out to them and see if they can come on. So as you can guess from the title of this video, I have my buddy Matty from Matty Culatrelli here to join me for this episode of In the Passenger Seat. So Matty, thanks again, buddy, for joining me. We made it work this time. We had some issues the other day, but we made it work today. If you were here 2 days ago, I apologize for having that issue 2 days ago. And if you made it back here today, thank you. You're a trooper, and I greatly appreciate that.
You know what is funny? Everybody was saying, like, you guys didn't try? Dude, they don't know. They would try like the day before for an hour. Yeah.
Well, I brought you on yesterday just to make sure it was still working. I went on again last night at 9 o'clock to ensure that it was working at 9 o'clock. I did it again today around noon just by myself, and it worked. So,
and you guys can see why we are trying, because we are trying to bring you the best quality as possible.
Yes. I feel like this is a good experience, good viewing experience. So that's kind of why I chose this format. So, Matty, since you're here with us, tell me a little bit on, your YouTube channel, also Hard Work Force, right? I'm wearing the merch. You got the sweatshirt on, the hat on. Tell me a little bit on why you started that and where you see your channel, Hard Work Force, and just yourself in the future as well.
Sure. First of all, thank you, man, for having me. This is a great opportunity. I hope a lot of people are here for Corvette content, also for a little bit of truck content, because that's what my channel, actually, I started my channel with the Colorado. Mm-hmm. To be honest, dude, when I started, I don't even know why, because you guys know I'm not here. I'm not from here. I'm from Brazil. So for me, it was like, you know what? I will practice my English. We're still very broke, but got better. And I always loved cars. I was always in cars, but it took me a while since, when I moved from Brazil to here to get a truck, and I can talk why I got the Colorado later. And then I started making videos. The first year, I just made a couple, like putting a bed cover and stuff. And then I stopped it. And in 2019, I was like, you know what? I'm going to post every single week. And from there, it was like just doing mods, like, everything I do, I try to do by myself. Like a couple of things I can tell that I send to other people to do, but the main things I do by myself. And that's like my channel involves around this. And last year I was fortunate enough to put a Corvette on the mix, which you helped me last month with it. And I applied the same concept for the Corvette. And on the mix of that, I also show a little bit of my life. So it's kind of, all in my life, but main with my truck and my car and whatever it's in my driveway.
Okay.
And Hard Work Force, right? You ask hard work. I mean, I always want to do something like have my own brand. And I really believe that here in America, if you watch my videos, I always say that like, if you work hard, man, you can do anything, right? And that's what the Hard Work Force stands for. Like, it's this community that believe, nothing's for free in life. Like, you got to work for it. You need to work for it, right? And then that's why the mountains, because you got to climb the mountains and you have ups and downs. and you gotta work for your dreams, whatever your dreams is. In my case, your case, maybe it's cars, right? Like I had the dream to have a Corvette one day, and it doesn't really matter which Corvette was. So, and I also have all the other dreams, and that's what hard workforce kicks in. I wanted something that I can share my passion about. Nobody can do things for you, only you can do. So then hard workforce came, and we put all the brand together, and sometimes we do giveaways. Last time we gave away a GoPro. So
yeah, I put in for that. Obviously, I didn't win that one, but
which would be weird if you win. You know what I'm saying? People would say like, "Wow, Dave won." It's can't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's hard workforce. Stay tuned because the next giveaway it's coming soon. It's a secret what it is yet, but yeah, you still can go to the website hardworkforce.com. You can see a little bit of my story there. You can see the merch and all that kind of stuff. You can see Corvette pictures, truck pictures, and all the stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, down in the description of this video, I did link up Matty's YouTube page, his Instagram page, as well as Hard Workforce. So go ahead, check in the description for those links. Now, Matty, you did mention that you have a C6, but we'll go back to when your YouTube channel started. And you did mention that you started this around your Colorado and your passion for trucks. So was there a brand loyalty to Chevy, or why did you pick the Colorado over, I guess, any other mid-size truck, right? Or even like a full-size truck? Why mid-size over full-size?
That's a good question, because everybody asks me, like, why Colorado, right? I was always a Chevy guy, even in Brazil, of course. Just to give you guys a little background, in Brazil, it's more like a European kind of cars. The cars are smaller. The engine is small. Everything is small, but I always had Chevy. Always had Chevy. The car that I had in Brazil, they don't have here. You guys can go to my Instagram. I have some pictures of the cars there. So I always want a Chevy. I was like, if I get a car, I will get a Chevy. Doesn't really matter what it is. So when I came here, dude, I never thought I would be back in cars, to be honest, because I sold everything in Brazil. I sold everything, like in my cars, like I left my job, I left everything. And just to let you guys know, I came here legally. It's just because my wife, she was living here. So was a transition, like the company that I was working for, they shut down there. So I didn't have too much hope there. So that's why we decided to come here. I decided because she was here. She was supposed to go to Brazil, but everything worked out backwards. Well, we believe that was God putting stuff together. So I came here and I was like, dude, I'm start from scratch. I cannot think about cars, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a hobby. It's a lot of money. You guys know it's a lot of money to put away. So my first car here in America was a Nissan Murano. I leased that.
Okay.
So, and I just got because it was a big car. My
now your wife has a Nissan Murano back, right?
Yeah, and because she liked that one.
Okay.
So, and I got that one because my parents would come here, right? And I need like a big trunk and all the kind of stuff. And so that I had that car for 3 years, and the lease was about to expire. And I started watching all the big YouTubers, and my goal to watch YouTube is just like, I like cars and I need to learn English. So let me watch YouTube videos. So I started watching like Street Speed, Stradman, all the kind of, those big YouTubers. And I started learning more about what they had here. And I was like, I told my wife, I think I want a truck. I want to get a truck. She's like, you're a contractor. You don't need a truck. So,
nobody needs a truck, but we all want a truck.
I know, exactly. So the first challenge was to convince my wife, but to make a long story short, when my lease was up, I took her to the dealer and I said, like, there's this mid-sized truck, which is not full size. And by the way, I have my drink on me. It's not beer though, because I'm addicted to it. So, you know what I'm saying? Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
So I took her to the dealer with me and said, hey, there's this mid-sized truck. It's not a full-size truck. Maybe she would buy in. The fact it's not a really big truck, you know what I'm saying? And I really like the way the Colorado looks. And, I was like, let's give it a try. So I took her to the dealer and they had exactly my truck there and we drove it. And she's like, oh, this is so comfortable, right? I was like, yeah, that's it. I'll buy it. So I bought it. That's how I got in Colorado's. And then my passion to trucks, I didn't have a passion to trucks because in Brazil, you cannot afford those things and they are very expensive. very expensive.
Okay.
So, and then I started Googling and see, like, you know, when you have a car, you go to YouTube and see what people are doing with it. I was like, dude, nobody's doing like nice stuff like Street Speed's doing or whatever those guys are doing with a Colorado, right? I don't even have idea what to do with it. So I started doing my research. I was like, I cannot keep this car stock though. I cannot do it. But it took me 2 years to make it the biggest modification, which is like the lift and wheels, because I was saving money for. And the first videos, as I said, was like putting the cover, putting the bed cover, nothing fancy, nothing. So that's how it started. That's why I chose a Colorado. And all of a sudden, when I start posting stuff, people were like, hey, dude, can you help me with this on a Colorado? And then I started putting like light bar, new grill. And when I saw I had this big followers asking me, till this day, people ask me like for advice about Colorados. I think I kind of attach my name to a Colorado, which I love it. I know there's no problem with it, but there's no specific reason why. I love that truck. It was my option at that time. I was like, I need to make the best of it. And now so far, I love it. I love that truck. It's my heart, and so it's on that truck.
Got it. So would there ever be, I'm sure, I guess there would always be that chance that you'd get rid of it. But in the near future, do you plan on getting rid of it?
Dude, one day, my goal is, I share that a lot on my channel too. It's about finance and stuff. My goal is to pay off the truck. And if I pay off the truck and I have enough money, I might get a full-size diesel truck. That's like my dream, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's one thing I regret not buying my Colorado as a diesel truck.
Okay.
Because they have the Colorado as a Duramax engine too.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now I guess getting into the C6. Now you purchased your C6 back in May of 2019?
2019, yes.
That's when I finally came into the whole. At the time, you were Matty's Garage. I think you went through like 3 different name changes.
Yes,
now you're
exactly.
Matty Culatrelli, but at the time you were Matty's Garage, and that's what brought me to your channel. Obviously, was just the passion for Corvettes, right? Corvette people are. You can call us crazy, you can call us whatever you want, but we like to support other people that are in the same realm as us, and all that. So why a C6? Over any other Corvette, or just why a C6?
Dude, it's funny because as I said, like in Brazil, same applies for the Corvette, even worse, right? It's impossible to buy a Corvette in Brazil. And I always had that. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a Chevy guy. I always was watching videos of Corvettes. Like every movie that I saw Corvette, I was like, dude, I need one in my life one day. But I never thought it would be possible. So when I came here, you see a Corvette very like easy. If you drive it on the summer, like during the summer, you're gonna see a Corvette. But in Brazil, you don't. So when I came here and I started seeing Corvettes, I'm like, dude, there's Corvette everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And then I started looking at. I never thought I would be willing to buy one, or even, have the means to even start buying one. So all of a sudden, everything in Brazil happened, and I got some money that my job there was holding for. In Brazil, you have a lot of that stuff. I just don't want to get in the details of it, but it's kind of my 401k from Brazil was there, like sitting, and I didn't have access to it, and so all of a sudden I had access to it. So, and then my wife was like, go buy whatever you want. I was like, dude, how much is a Corvette? Just to give you an idea, I never look how much is a Corvette. It was a Corvette, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know the difference between C6, CC5, or whatever. But then I started looking until like that I bought in May. I think I started looking for sure, like I might buy one in January. So, and then I started watching more YouTube about it and all this stuff. And the reason why was the C6 is just because I like the design. And I'm saying I like I was between the C5 and the C6. Of course, I could not afford the C7. But the reason why, I think because I saw the C601. And then I was like, dude, that's the car I want. When I saw the price, I was like, forget about it.
Yeah.
So, and that was actually how that happened. And then I started looking at it and see more stuff. And and then when I saw, okay, maybe I can't afford a Z06, but it's funny because in 2 years I couldn't see a Z06 for 35, 32. Like you can find one now for 30. I saw online.
Yeah, you can get low 30s now for a decent Z.
Exactly. Maybe you would have like high miles on it, but you can definitely find one. But back, like, it's crazy to say, but a year and a half, like almost 2 years ago, I just didn't find a decent one. You know what I'm saying? And actually, my budget was way below that. My budget was like 20 grand. I want to get something 20 grand with like not too many miles, and I mean, I could not, and it has to be a manual. That was the thing. Like, I want a manual.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to say anything about you, but yeah.
That's fine. On my live stream the other night, everybody was grilling me, and you know what? I got to accept it. You know, I'm that guy that drives an automatic American sports car. So I take my tongue lashings for that one.
Which there's nothing. I mean, you can be faster than a manual, though. It's not going to be as fun, but you know.
Now, before you continue into your story a little bit, you did tell me before we jumped on here that you had 2 items to give away.
I do.
You have a hat and a key tag. So I came up with a question in that short amount of time, and I'm going to pose this question to anybody watching here. Each person gets one guess. One guess only. Don't slam the comments with guesses. But Matty picked up his car in Texas. How many miles was his drive home from Texas? We're going to do Price is Right rules. Closest without going over is first. You get your choice between a hat and a key tag, or a key tag. Second place gets the other option. So you can go into your story, and I'll let everybody guess, and whoever gets the closest will win without going over.
Perfect. So remember, guys, Texas from North Jersey or New Jersey, you can guess. Mm-hmm. If you watch my videos, you're probably gonna know by the exact number. So, or you don't go to my channel now because you gotta be here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was the thing, though. I was looking for a Corvette, a CC. Then I put in my mind, okay, it's gonna be a C6. I love the design. There's no reason. I don't know why I didn't look at the C5 now thinking about that, though, because I see your C5, I see Scott's C5. They are sick, you know what I'm saying? I drove Scott's one. Mm-hmm. I never drove yours because you never let me, but
I know because it's automatic. I don't know if you know how to drive an automatic or not.
I don't know. Maybe I'll take it out some bushes from your driveway.
That's it. That was a tree stump, not a bush.
I was tree stump. Yeah, same thing. But anyway, I drove those cars, and I was like, yeah, they are. But I don't know why exactly was the C6. But I started looking for the C6 base. That was in my mind. Okay, I can afford 20 grand. What I can buy, right? So I found a couple in Jersey. But the thing about New Jersey, I actually look at 2. I went to the dealer and I drove it, and I was like, all right. They were the one that I almost bought. It was a red one like mine, and had 59,000 miles on it, and it was a 05. And I didn't know. Everybody was like, "Don't buy a 05." You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's like never buy the first generation of Corvettes. That's what I read.
The first year of the new generation.
Exactly. So, and I drove that car. I like it. My wife was like, if you like it, it's fine. So I they were asking 21. But when I got there, the guy's like, oh, but out of the door is 23. I was like, what the heck is that? Show me all the fees. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me all the fees. I want to see, no, we cannot disclose the fees. I was like, get out of here. So I stopped looking for like a week and a half, and it completely stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get ripped off like in tax and dealer fees. And then my father-in-law sent me the one that I have. And he said, like, hey, it's in Texas, but it looks great. I was like, okay, let me call the guy. I called the guy, and they were asking way below what I want, and had 10,000 miles more than the one that I saw in New Jersey. And it was a 07. I was like, dude, there's something wrong with this car. That's not possible. 2 years newer, and, everything I want is manual. It's a base. It looks... I don't like the chrome wheels, but whatever, I can change that later.
Polished aluminum.
Yeah, exactly. Or black or gold.
Well, no, I'm just. I got grilled the one time for saying chrome wheels on my car. They don't come chrome. It's polished aluminum. Just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I think might they chrome that though, because the wheel you can see this peeling.
Yeah, that's just it's just pitting. Mine's doing the same thing.
Okay, so
yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I hear you. That's why I plastic dipped mine.
Yeah, nothing against though. If you guys are like chrome guy or polish, whatever, it looks great, but it's not for me. Like, you know, I like black stuff. Like, I like more like chrome delete kind of thing. But anyway, so, and I called the guy, and I was on vacation with my wife, dude. I called in the middle of vacation, and I told the guy, hey, how much is for the car? And he said, like, it's actually I can sell it. They said like 17.5 for the car. I was like, okay, but how much for out of the door? They said here in Texas you just pay like $50, and you pay sales tax when you register in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's sales tax. I was counting on it, but even with the sales tax, I would be under the 20. I was like, all right, what I need to do? He's like, if you just put a deposit, the car is yours. I was like, all right, I'll put a deposit. Next day, I bought tickets for me and my wife one way to Texas. We came back from vacation on a Sunday night, and we flew to Texas on Friday. We got actually Saturday morning, and then we got there straight to the dealer, and I spent time with some friends. I had some friends in Texas, so and then we drove back home.
Nice. So I see the guesses are slowing down. Just so everybody knows, the total mileage was 1,522 miles. So based on that, and based on the Price is Right not going over, I know John Bertolotti, he was close, but he went over. So the winner is Project Dirty at 1,450, and Duramax Country Boy is second place with 1,400.
There you go.
So, Project Dirty, you get the choice between the hat or the key tag, and then Duramax Country Boy, you get whatever Project Dirty doesn't want.
So you can make like the arrangement, send me the address, and I send to them.
Yeah, just reach out to. Is your email on your on Hard Workforce website?
Yeah, you can send through a Hard Work Force, or you can just send Matt. Yeah, you can send to Hard Workforce. It's coming to my email.
Okay. Yeah, so just head over to his website and you'll get his email.
Yep.
Cool. Were you done with the C6 story? Sorry, I think you were. I think you were.
Yeah, and then we drove home. I mean, the worst part was like I didn't know the car. I never drove that long a Corvette in my life,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't know if the car would make or not. So
that's definitely a way to get to know your car. I mean, you're sitting in there. How long was that drive? Was what? Probably 17, 18 hours?
Oh, 22.
22. Oh, wow. Well, that's because you're driving slow. It's a Corvette, bro. Come on.
Dude, at some point, I met a Porsche, like, and dude, we are floored. Even my wife is like, because you know the speed limit in Texas is like 90.
Okay.
So, dude, you can fly there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's just a long trip. I drove like I drove 10 hours, and then plus, actually, it was 21 hours. I drove 10. We stopped in Tennessee, and then the next morning we drove another 11.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So then when I came back home, dude, I was like, dude, I have a Corvette. I could not sleep that night.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, I have a Corvette in my garage. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything like, I didn't know this Corvette community we have and then that's when you reach me out, like when I post that video about driving back to Jersey.
Yes.
Because you and Scott, you guys were doing like the first Corvette takeover.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. And did you come to the first one when we only had like 35 cars?
No, because
you came to the second one, right?
Yeah, because I could not make it because I was doing some stuff at my house and I couldn't make it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's how we met, and actually then we went to Carlisle that year.
Yes.
Right.
I think that was where we met first. Was Carlisle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was texting. Actually, I started texting. I don't know if Scott's here, probably not. But if Scott's here, I started texting him on Instagram because I wanted his seats on my car, the Corvette seats.
Yeah.
So, and then we start back and forth. Thinking, oh, we are going to Carlisle. I was like, oh, I can hang out with you guys. So that's where we first met.
2001 Corvette is saying something in Portuguese. I have no idea what it says.
Well, really?
I don't know if you see the chat.
Let's see. Just now?
Yeah.
He's asking, what is my favorite food?
Okay.
My favorite food is the classic Brazilian food: rice, beans, picanha, which is like a beef. That doesn't get any better than that.
Nice. That's simple, but you know what? That sounds good to me too.
Yeah, but that is that every day.
Yeah. Well, I went to school in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so you go into certain parts of Newark, there's a big Portuguese section.
Portuguese.
Yeah. So like, I've eaten Portuguese food and I love it. So you get to eat very vast different foods going to school in Newark, and then I worked in New York for a while. So those two places you eat.
Yeah. Actually, if you live in New Jersey, you can go to Newark, and they have a really nice Brazilian restaurants. Though you can definitely like exactly what they have in Brazil. They have it here in Newark.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not like it's closing. No, it's exactly the same kind of food.
Now, since we're talking about Brazil and everything, obviously you born and raised in Brazil. That's where your car passion started, correct? Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about the I guess the car culture in Brazil. Is it much different than here in the US? And what cars did you have in Brazil?
Well, the car culture is a little different because the weather, though.
Okay.
Right? I mean, if we have people from Florida here or even South Carolina, I don't know, you have car season all year, right? In Brazil, like the winter is the coldest is like 55, 60.
Nice.
And people are wearing jackets, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, think about Christmas is like 80, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the car culture, it's I was way younger, right? I came here when I was 28. So actually, like, well, I know in Brazil you can only drive after 18. That's when I got my license, and that's actually my dad let me drive when I was younger, but I could not go to car shows and stuff. And I got my first car in Brazil was a Volkswagen Beetle.
Okay.
That I got from my nice. Uncle. That car was sitting for like years, had rust all over the place. My dad helped me to put together, like back together. We did all the body work, and no, we did it. We paid somebody. That's another thing about Brazil too. It's not easy for you, do stuff yourself. Like you gotta pay somebody. Like the tools are expensive, everything is expensive, so it's easier to pay somebody.
Okay.
So that was my first car. So I put like some wheels. I lower a little bit. The car culture, it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like you lower a little bit, and then my second car. Then I started working. I started working when I was 18. I went to college and started working at the same time. So I didn't go to college and came back and start work. So I started working at the same time. So a year and a half later, I got promoted in my job. So I could afford a better car. So I went and bought. They have this Chevy. Dude, it's the engine so small. It's like it called Chevy Celta. It looks like a European car. If you guys Google it, it's Celta, Celta. I had two of those. My first one was a red one, like my Corvette, and twin turbo one. Yeah, so nice. That I think, but dude, just to give you
still a turd though, huh?
How small was the engine with the twin turbo? I made on the dyno 190.
Oh wow,
dude, it's so slow compared to what we have now. Like I was like, dude, I thought that was fast. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like my Corvette with no mods make like 3 something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the kind of the car culture in Brazil. And then when I got my second car, which was the same car but newer, that was actually my last car in car stuff that I put a lot of mods, and all the kind of stuff. And then I stopped for a while because then I was preparing to get married and all the kind of stuff. And then I also, it's not with car related. When I was 25, my company sent me to Poland. So I lived in Poland for 7 months. So I kind of had to stop with my car passion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, and the car culture in Brazil, it's like, because the weather is good, you have like weekly meetings and all the stuff. And I was in clubs. I was like coordinating meetups, all the kind of stuff. So
Nice.
I was, the only difference between here is because here I can do everything basically by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I rarely pay somebody, which was something that I didn't try before, living here for a while. In Brazil,
Right.
I had to pay like a shop to do or whatever.
Got it. They didn't have like a Harbor Freight down the street.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy tools, but you're going to spend more in tools than actually paying somebody to do the job. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
It's almost like buying Snap-on tools.
Exactly.
Okay. So since you came to the U.S. when you were 28, I think you just said?
28, yeah.
28. What kind of challenges and mountains, since you have the hard workforce mountain there, what kind of mountains did you have to climb just to even just get ahead, or maybe not even ahead, just to get even with everybody, and then eventually now you're ahead?
Well, the first thing, it's like, of course, it's family, because even though I have my wife's family, it's not my parents. I'm saying my dad and my mom, they still live in Brazil. My brother, I have a younger brother, and friends, dude. Imagine like all this car culture, all my friends that I hang with, they're gone. And I'm saying, like, I don't have anymore. My only friends, my wife. So, and on top of that, it's the language. So because one thing is, if you speak English for a business kind of thing, I'm saying, like, it's the vocabulary is very limited and everything else. But when you have to deal life with it, when you have to show your emotions, everything, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So, but besides that, of course, was how I'm going to make money, how I'm going to work, because I don't have a job. So that was like, that's why car stuff, like having a Corvette, never came to my mind. It's like, dude, I need to put food on my table first. I cannot even think about like cars. And that was the challenge, though, because even though I had a really good job in Brazil, but I left, and I put in my mind, okay, I'll have enough funds for 6 months. So my wife was working though, so it wasn't that bad. Like, we don't have a job, but we just had one income. You know what I'm saying? But then when they came here, I was like, I'll do whatever. The first thing I did was I went to do shoe. I was a shoe shiner. Can you believe it?
Okay.
Yeah, I went to
when you started with an S. I was gonna start laughing. I thought you were gonna say stripper.
I don't think I would make money on it.
But I'm glad it wasn't a stripper.
I don't think I would make money on it though. But yeah, that's how those were the challenge though. Like, like friends and stuff. And that's one thing I'm really glad about the cars in general. I mean, I can say about the Colorado and the Corvette is like the amount of people that I got to know because of the cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, just changed my life completely. You know what I'm saying? Like, the friends we make, like the meetups that I get to go to, the people that I get to talk, and of course the YouTube channel. Like, I get a lot of messages of people. I think my channel is kind of funny because if you click on the video, you're gonna see this guy with this funny accent, so you don't know exactly what he's doing. But once people start watching, I think they get used to it, and they kind of I feel like I have a relationship with my subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You always see the same, not the same, but more or less, you always see the same commenters. You always see the same people coming back, supporting you. And that's like one of the greatest feelings. It's just that, you have that connection with people.
Exactly. And maybe you have the same feeling. I never thought that YouTube would make what, like, I never thought I would get like 100 people follow me. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube. So thinking,
when I got my second sub, because my first sub was my wife. So when I got my second sub, I was like pushing her. I'm like, guess what? Somebody subscribed to my channel. Can you believe it? Like, who subscribed to me?
That's exactly, and you hope that it's not her, right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly the feeling, though. I had the same feeling. I was like, dude, somebody will just subscribe to my channel. You see?
And that's definitely the thing that when I started YouTube, that like you were just saying, is that community that you build. That's the one thing that nobody really thinks about. Like, yeah, okay, you're making videos and all that, but you're building a community around yourself, around your cars, whatever you decide to do YouTube in, right? I mean, we're cars, but just that community that you never thought about that when you first started this, and that's one of the great things that has definitely come out of this. I mean, obviously you and me, we text regularly, right?
Yep.
So, we're building friendships. Granted, you're in Jersey, so it's easier to hang out with you, but like people like PA Driven on here and some other people that Project Dirty, PC here, like just connecting with people all over the country.
I think I have Mike's here. Mike was the winner of the giveaway that the Hard Workforce did.
Oh, Mike Costa, okay.
And he's in Colorado though, and I'm saying like, and we text each other too. It's like this thing you said is just like it's incredible. If you are thinking about having a YouTube channel, I think the beginning is it's a lot of challenge, especially for me because, dude, I remember doing my first video. I was like, dude, they're gonna say crap about my English, and they did. I got a couple of things like, dude, learn English first before you make your first video. So, but if you push through it, what I'm saying, like, I'm still learning. I don't care. You can talk about that. What I'm saying, as long as you don't comment things about my, my integrity and everything, you can say whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
There's always going to be those keyboard warriors.
Exactly. The screen makes them like super strong.
Yeah. and PC actually had a comment or a question. Do you think in Portuguese or English?
Well, now I think more in English because think about I have a full-time job and it's English. So sometimes it's funny because we speak a lot of Portuguese here at my house, me and my wife, because we wanted my son to learn Portuguese. And of course, when I talk with my parents at least like 3-4 times a week. So it's hard. It's my first language, but some words, English is funny because you have such like short words for things. You know what I'm saying? Like in Portuguese, you don't. So like sometimes it's easier to just think in English.
Great White North Corvette has a great question, and we can both chime in on this. What's your best advice on starting a channel? I'll go first. I mean, honestly, the best advice is to be yourself and figure out what you want your YouTube channel to be. What are your goals for your channel? Do you want to be a street speed 717, or do you just want to just have fun with it, go along with just enjoy the ride, right? That's kind of how I started it. When I started my C5 channel, maybe there was like less than a handful of C5 channels. So I just wanted to enjoy the ride. I was going to do the modifications on my car anyway, so I figured why not put that on YouTube? If people want to watch it, cool. If they don't want to watch it, that's fine too. And just have fun with it. If you want to make it more serious, it's all about thumbnails, descriptions, tags, and being consistent in your uploads. That's probably the big thing. And that can be consistent, whether that's once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, once a month, as long as you're consistent and people can count on you to put content out there. That's always my best advice, I guess you'd say. So I'm interested to see what you have to say there, Matty.
I agree. You said very well. Like, be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else, because you can fake that doing like editing kind of thing, but it's not gonna be a longer run faking who you are. People gonna follow because who you are. They are not trying to find somebody else you knew. You know what I'm saying? And be yourself. Like, I know that I don't have a lot of knowledge in some stuff, and I say that in front of the camera. I'm not afraid because that's who I am. So and just be yourself, make fun of it, have fun. I think you gotta have fun because otherwise you're gonna be so stressed when you see people hating your comments. Like I have one person, they always give me a thumbs down. I don't know why. So it's all probably is the same person because I always get the one thumbs down. So you gotta love.
I think my latest video, I have like 138 thumbs ups and 1 thumbs down. Like, what is that one person thinking?
Exactly, exactly. And you're going to get that, you know what I'm saying? And don't let that bring you down. And another thing nobody told me, and I think it's very, don't wait for the perfect thing to start. And perfect, I mean perfect car, perfect gear, like camera, or do with whatever you have. You know what I'm saying? The perfect software. Don't wait for those kind of things. Just start doing it. Because if you go to my first video, not that my videos are good right now, but it got better. You can see it's getting better as you make them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I started with my cell phone, and I still use my cell phone to this day. I use my cell phone probably 50% of the time, and I edit all my videos
on your phone, dude. You're my hero.
So I download what's the name of the software? PowerDirector. That's what I use to edit all my videos on my phone. I did upgrade to it's a free app, but I did the upgrade so that I can edit in 4K. And there's some other things that it unlocked, but it wasn't expensive. It was like $25 or something for the year.
Yeah, nowadays, dude, you cannot, like the phone, like I have the iPhone. The iPhone does everything you need. You don't need anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you want to take serious, like Dave said, try to be unique. Do things that nobody does. You know what I'm saying? Like when I started my channel and I started doing mods to my Colorado, I didn't see anybody doing like a lift kit, wheels and tires, and show exactly how he's living with a Colorado lifted. I was like, I didn't do that because I want to just show, because I always want to put a lift. I was like, you know what? That's the best of both worlds. I want to do it, and nobody has it, and nobody's showing. Of course, now you have more people on YouTube. I'm not saying that I was the first one. That's not what I'm saying. But the way that I'm trying to show it's because I didn't see anybody doing it. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of try to put yourself in a unique place. And then if you want to attract more views, I think that's the thing. But I would not do the things for the views and for the money too. I would do because you want to have fun.
Yeah. Project Dirty said, don't stress the analytics. And you can definitely get wrapped up in like when you download the app YouTube Studio on your phone, like you're looking at that like every hour, like how many views did I get this past hour? Did I get any more subs? Did I, you're always looking at it. So don't stress it. Is easier said than done.
That's one thing too, though, about YouTube, because Dave can tell that. And if you guys go to my channel, even Dave's channel, we talk about numbers, how much we make it. And once you
I have a video coming out tomorrow on how much I've made on YouTube. So
there you go. See, when you start making a little bit more, like to pay for some mods on your car or truck, whatever you have, then that's what gets tricky, because you want more because you can make more and make your life easier. But yeah, it's easier to say than actually do. I agree with you.
Yeah. And then your buddy Mike mentioned or had a question. Do you plan on doing a meetup this year?
Dude, I really want to do a truck meetup. Nothing against Corvettes.
That's fine. I was gonna come up last year, but
yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yeah, the weather was rainy. I want to do a meetup, truck meetup, because Corvettes, I think you and Scott are doing such a great job that we don't need to do, like, I don't need to push more Corvette stuff, because you guys do a lot. Like, dude, the Corvette takeover, if you haven't been in one, you gotta show up, because it's like it's insane. Like, you think it's gonna be just a couple guys, and then we take off like the entire parking lot, like almost 200 Corvettes. It's nice. So what I want to do for, of course, with everything happening now, it's hard to put something in the calendar. Last year I tried, was two things: the weather, and my wife was like the last time of the pregnancy, so was hard. But I'm planning to do one. I did one with Justin a couple of years ago.
I remember
Like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so but that was kind of a mix of Corvettes and Colorados. I want to do like a truck meetup, and the challenge is bringing people with any kind of truck. Like, if you guys don't know, Dave has a truck, actually a nice truck. Yeah, so like, do make something, and maybe it's because now it's hard with COVID though. Because I would love to do like right when spring hits, because truck we can drive in any weather, right? Corvettes you can't. So it's
True.
That would be the goal, but I would definitely do one.
Yeah, it's nice to have the nice weather, just so like people can intermingle and chat, not that you're freezing your ass off. So,
dude, the last time we put in one together, me and Justin, we had to cancel because of the weather too. A guy from Ohio came. He drove all the way from Ohio to PA.
Oh wow!
And he got there. He sent me a picture. I was heartbroken. I was like, dude, we canceled last night.
Mm-hmm. PC actually just said that the only where is it? The only Corvette that was, I guess, Corvette event that was larger than the takeover was Carlisle. Now that's saying something. But PC, actually, if you probably you didn't go, but the Smithville show down just north of Atlantic City, they had, if Zippity's garage is still on here, they had over probably like close to 250 Corvettes. That was a great show.
Wait, you guys are not that far though.
No, yeah, I think that was a quick shot down the Parkway for me. So an hour. To
be honest, I think if it wasn't COVID, the ones from last year would be bigger.
Yeah.
So we'll see when the thing is over. And my goal is actually to do one. Like
he said, he had 275 Corvettes at the Smithville show.
It's a big show, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I also want to do with more trucks is do some, toys for toddler.
The toys for tots.
Yeah, the end of that, like towards Christmas.
Well, I know. I mean, you can definitely organize your own. I'm not saying you can't, but I know in the Corvette world, Kerbeck does a Toys for Tots. And Zippity's Garage, you probably know when that is. I think it's in like October timeframe. They didn't have it this year because of COVID too.
Gotcha.
But I think it's usually in like the October timeframe.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I want to do one here in New Jersey, actually, maybe PA, but I don't know. I feel like there's, at least that I'm not aware, like a nice meetup for the 3 states, like PA for trucks. I'm talking about for trucks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think we could do something like when it's too cold, so we feel that gap between like actually like the full car season, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe March or April, which is still kind of cold, but that would be like the goal, to do something like that.
Gotcha. What future plans do you have for the Colorado, or are we not allowed to disclose that?
We're allowed, because I think we have a lot of people here for the Colorado, so I'll talk about it. Okay. Actually, the Colorado, dude, one thing I regret not doing in the Colorado, if you guys don't know, I have a 6-inch lift kit on it. I regret not powder coat that. Like,
it didn't come powder coated, or it just came painted?
Came painted, yeah. Okay. So, but I want to do like a different color, like would be, but that's not the plan. The plan is tomorrow. Actually, no, today is Thursday. Saturday, I'm thinking to do a color match in the front. So I'm taking the entire front off. It's gonna be all white. So you gotta watch the things, and also our onboard air system. I'm installing in the next few weeks. The challenge of installing that one is because it's so cold outside and the truck doesn't fit in my garage. Gotcha. So that's the challenge. That's for the Colorado though. I don't know if we are allowed to talk about Corvettes here, but
yeah, we can mention the Corvette. I saw Mike's comment about the Bruins just beating the Devils in a shootout. Yes, I live in Jersey, but I am not a New Jersey Devils fan. I am actually a New York Rangers fan.
Well, I don't follow hockey that much, but I have like a Rangers hat in Jersey. So
okay. Well, because you worked in New York for a while, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, I worked at 2 Penn, so like upstairs from the Garden.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a Rangers fan since like the early '90s, which is kind of ironic. Like back then, I forget what they didn't win a Stanley Cup for like 47 years or whatever the hell it was. And like the second year that I was a fan of them, they won the Stanley Cup. And of course they haven't. Well, they've kind of been close, but they haven't won it again.
Are you a Knicks fan too?
No, I'm actually not much of a basketball fan.
Gotcha.
I'll watch playoffs. That's the only time I'll watch basketball.
Yeah.
That playoff basketball is fun to watch, but I'm not a basketball fan now.
Gotcha. See, I'm trying to look at the comments here. Ryan, he said that's gonna look sweet. I think he's talking about the Colorado because he has a nice Colorado though.
Okay.
He has a really nice one. So, and it's white. That's why it's nice. What else we got here in the comments?
I think that might be it.
For the Corvette, maybe I can take some ideas from your crew here.
Okay.
Right? So we just, if you guys know, I have a 07 C6 Corvette base. I did a couple of mods. I put like carbo seats. I put up all the aero thing that you can put on. Actually, I got a new ZR1 like long wing. The company reached out to me like, hey, you want to try? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So a new wing is coming for the Corvette, maybe this following week. But the challenge here is I have a C6 base, right? Do you guys actually this question's for you too, Dave. Mm-hmm. I'm asking questions now. Like, how fun is this?
So we can turn this into anything.
It's worth to do a wide body conversion. Because think about it, it's a wide body, so you need new wheels, new tires. You need all the liners and everything else to do, and you gotta paint it or wrap it.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day about wheels and how expensive wheels are because you're gonna need wheels and tires, and depending on what wheels and tires you get, you're no less than $2,500 probably, unless you get like the super cheap wheels. But even then, let's just say it's $2,500 to $3,000 for a decent set of wheels and tires.
Exactly.
And then you're not even including in the wide body into that cost. And I don't even know what a wide body would cost first.
The wide body, though, I did a lot of research on it. Trust me, I'm about to pull the trigger on one. So is the ACI is the cheapest one, which is the wide body conversion from the base. They call the Z06 wide body. It's all the panels, the two quarter panels and the fenders, plus all the liners and everything else. Mm-hmm. $3,000.
Okay.
And that does include the front bumper. You need a wider front bumper.
Okay, and that doesn't include the front bumper.
Nope.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's if you think about $3,000 right there, right? $2,500 for the wheels. So we are talking about $5,500, right? Is my math right? So if you put on top of that you need to either paint or wrap the entire car. Let's say you get to wrap for $4,000. We are talking about almost $10,000 just for the wide body conversion.
Yeah, Frankie Jimenez actually just commented. He had a 2007, same as you. He had a Z51. I don't think yours is a Z51 car.
No.
And he bought the RPI wide body kit, includes everything, and it's painted for around $2,500.
The entire kit? That's cheap. Yeah. Or it's just the back the quarter?
Only the rear quarter panels.
Yeah.
He had OEM Z06 wheels on it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So it's just the rear quarters.
Yeah.
Because I know for C5s, if you wanted to get the rear quarters, I think they're like around just say around $1,000 for just the quarters for a C5.
But do you need the liners and stuff?
I don't know.
Because
I haven't looked into it, so I don't really know.
Yeah, because for example, what the ACI told me, it's like they send you the OEM GM parts for the install, like the brake ducts and everything, because change, right? Now you have a wider, you need new. Everything has to be new, like underneath of the panel. So just for that, it's like $1,200. The entire kit's $3,000. That's it.
Yeah.
But you need to install. So if you don't do by yourself, it's more expensive, which I would do by myself because I think that would be great content for the channel. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I can get my car. Let's say I can get 20 grand for my car. I don't even know if that's worth that much. And put a $10,000 on top of it and get a Z06. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about on the comments?
I would say go Z.
Yeah, because it's a better engine. You got more than just the wide body.
Yeah.
Well, the other option is, well, okay, this one mod that I'm always thinking about. Actually, I bought the front bumper seat on my basement. So the big one, the larger one. But
yes, I did see your video on that. Yep.
Yeah. But that's the one option. Or the other option is forget about the wide body for now. Put a new set of wheels, the wheels that we talk about. I don't know if you want to disclose, because that's probably what we're both gonna get.
Yeah, the C701 replica wheels.
Exactly. So
for me, they would be replicas. I guess if you went wide body, I don't know. I don't know if you might be able to go OEM, but they're probably going to be 3 times as much money.
Oh yeah, I would just go replica. Yeah. Call it a day. And the other thing is going to be a cam, and then do a cam, bigger wheels and tires, new tires. And call the day. Enjoy the car for like a couple of years. My car, I just paid off my car like last week, so enjoy the car for a while, and then when I'm tired of it, I save some money, buy the Z. Yeah,
because Project 30 said he had a good thing here. Where was it? I'm scrolling up.
If you are not attached to the
because I mean your car has the LS2, which I mean in the C6 Corvette world is the less desirable C6.
Yep.
So you're gonna go from an LS2 to an LS7.
Yeah.
400 horsepower to 505. Like
that's why I think I'm taking my Corvette as a kind of a lessons to learn, or lessons learned if I already did. For example, change the seats was a challenge to keep that sensors out working well. Now we did the headers. I mean, dude, when we did the headers, I was like, dude, I need to do a cam by myself, and I'd rather do on mine than take a Z without experience and try to do it on that car. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's. Yeah, it is fun. I mean, I watched your video doing yours. I was like, after we doing the header, I was like, I'm quite sure we can do it in my garage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you definitely could do it in your garage. There's no issue there. It's just nut and bolts. That's all it is. Just make sure you don't have any bolts left over when you're done.
And the right parts, right?
Yes, and the right parts. Frankie said that he sold his C6 for $24,000, and it had 74,000 miles on it, and it was stock besides exhaust, wheels, and a wide body.
24.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know how long ago that was.
If I can take if I get 24 for mine, then we are talking about.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you'd get 24 for it, but right now, the used Corvette market is outrageous right now. It's going crazy. So you never know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think I should enjoy a little bit. I'm not attached to the car. That's not the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not like me. Like I'm attached to my Corvette. I'm not getting rid of it. So whatever I put into the car, I don't care. I don't care about resale value. I don't care about anything because I'm keeping the car. Yeah, so it doesn't matter to me.
I mean, I have some attachment to the car because that was the car that brought me to a lot of Corvette friends. But if I'm changing for another Corvette, I don't see like a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see like being a big deal because I'm still gonna have a Corvette. Actually, my goal, like a realistic goal, would be a 01, C601. I think it's something I can do one day. Maybe that's I hold on my car, do whatever I want with it, a lot of mods to it, and save money for the 01.
The yellow one, right?
I want a white though.
Okay.
I don't know if you can tell I like white.
Yes.
The only thing is the discussion again. After the white body is basically the same discussion. Should we buy the C601 or the C706. The 01 is a neat car. Probably is gonna be. It's not gonna go down as much as the C701. I think in the long run.
Yeah, because the C601 is the pinnacle of the C6 era, right?
Exactly.
So like right now they're what, like around 60 grand, give or take.
Yeah, you can find between 50. I always look. I'm always looking. So the cheapest one I found was like 53. If you find one with like 2,000 miles on it, you can find. I saw people asking for 69, 68.
Yeah, and that's a car you can drive for a few years and probably sell it for what you bought it for. And you probably can't say that for a C7Z.
Oh yeah,
you're going to lose money on that one, but
yeah, maybe not. You're going to lose money, but the thing is that
that's if you care about it.
Yeah,
if you care about resale value. If you don't care about resale value, obviously a C7Z06 is what, 650 horsepower, something like that.
C7Z.
Yeah.
6 something.
I think it's like 650.
Yeah.
And what's a C601, 636 or something?
So I mean,
you're pretty damn close. And you get a manual. I know you can get a manual on the C7Z06 as well, but you know, I think it's the better buy.
Yeah, the only thing is, I think if I buy a C601, I would be attached to it. I would keep that car because I want to drive. I don't want to be that guy who's like, hey, I'm not driving my car because it's gonna put miles on it. You know what I'm saying?
I got PC and Zippity already corrected me. 638. I was close. 636. That was right off the top of my head, and I was almost there.
638. The CC. So it's like, dude. I think for the. I remember you guys, you and Scott, you guys were talking about like the C7. His relationship between the C7 and the C5. And I think that applies when you try to look with the C6 and the C706 and the C601. I think the C601 is still a more raw, like driving experience. And I'm saying the car has technology, but not as much the C7Z. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I drove Justin's 01, the C701. Dude, that car is a beast. It's like you are like, you know what I'm saying? It's so comfy, even if you're not on it. If you're on it, the power is there. But I don't know. It's something about like being raw. Now, especially that I have headers on mine. It's like, bah! It's like just the sound of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing about going too much money on a car, it's always like, I don't want to be afraid to touch my car. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why maybe I'll keep mine for now, do all the mods that I want. Maybe not the wide body though. But do a lot, like do the cam, you know what I'm saying? Like get some friends and do the cam and experience, take to the track. Like I took my car to the track like in the second month I had it. So
I remember that video. Yeah, you went to Cecil County, right?
Cecil County, yeah. That was fun, dude. That was fun for two reasons. I made the Colorado towing the first time because a lot of people, you cannot tow with those big tires. All right, let's see. And then putting the car on the track was my first experience on a track. And I want to take the car again because now I have a short shifter. I have a heads and X pipe. Maybe by then I'll have the cam. So let's see how fast I can make. You know, of course, I need new, better tires, but my best time was 13.4.
Okay.
So
okay for a stick car.
Well, when I post the video on my channel, people are like, "Oh, you can do better." On a stock 6.
Of course, anybody can do better.
Yeah. We need to put in mine against yours, though.
Yes, we do need to do that.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, me and Dave, we always have a joke like about who is faster or who is louder. So we should make a video of it, though.
Yeah. Well, you sent me a video today of your security camera of you backing up your driveway. I'm like, mine's loud. All right.
Well, I forgot to mention that I sent him my security camera. But that day, my wife texted me before I get home. It's like she goes like, "Don't make too much noise." So I was just putting enough gas to get through the driveway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My right now, sometimes I start the car when my son's taking a nap. So my wife will say, "Go, you got to go." And I just started the car. It's like 25, 30 degrees out.
You got to warm up, though.
The car's got to warm up. Here I am trying to pull out of my drive. I'm like, vroom, vroom, vroom. It's surging because it's not really warmed up yet. And I'm like,
that's one thing about doing the cam, though. I think it's gonna be way louder.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's because you are so used to a loud Corvette. Mm-hmm. But for me, when you put the headers, I was like, dude, this is so loud. My wife's gonna kill me, and she actually did. Yeah. What is Pete saying? Your burnout at Cecil was great, dude. That's a funny story about that. I went to a parking lot 2 days before to practice how to do a burnout. Because doing a burnout on a manual, it's like you got to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't do a brake. You can't do a brake stand like I can. You
got to commit to it. Like foot on the gas, let the clutch go, and I think my first one we didn't record, to be honest, because it was horrible. I was shaking. You know what I'm saying? Like my first time at the track. All the YouTubers, bigger YouTubers, they were there. I was like,
I would just skip the burnout box and not even do one. But anyway,
is the Cecil too far for you?
Cecil's in what, Maryland?
Maryland.
I mean, it's probably 2.5 hours or something from me.
I don't think so though, because it was like 2 hours from me.
Oh, really? All right, then maybe because I'm all the way over on Eastern Jersey, so I mean it's probably about the same time.
Yeah,
but I guess we'll get into some of the other questions that I had. And then we can always jump into if people have more questions and stuff. You can always post your questions down below, and we'll get to them.
People are saying the C601 will help you to get out of trouble.
Yeah, I saw that one. So, whether here or back in Brazil, do you have any young, dumb car stories where maybe you got close to, being caught by police, ticketed by police, car taken away, anything like that?
Dude, one day, let me explain the contest first, right? In Brazil, the rules, the laws for cars are very strict. Like you cannot lower your car without going through an inspection and have that on your registration, right? So if the cop pull you over, you got to show that your car is registered as a lower car, right?
Okay.
So I had this my second car, the one that I talk about after the one that I twin turbo. And I was putting the car together for a show, like a big show. The club that I was in was part of it. So we pulled the car apart for the sound system, and I had coilovers. So I put the car down like at the max. Dude, I don't even know how that thing was, how I was driving the thing. That's how low it was. But that day, I had like a test to take in college. So I went to college driving that car. And I was like, okay, next morning I'll take it to the shop that's going to finish all the work on the sound. And then call the day, I'll leave there and I'll just take for the show. So, but I need to take a highway to go to the college. So I went to college, I did the test, and I was driving back home. And then I got pulled over. And dude, my car was so low that the cop could not, he has to like almost be on his knees to talk to me like on the thing. I was like, my car, they're going to impound my car for sure, they will. And the guy, actually, the funny thing was the cop was a car guy, and I had to tell him the whole story that I just told you guys. Like, hey, this is a car show. This is the car. This car is not my daily driver. Blah blah blah. It's like, dude, but you should not drive this car and blah blah blah. And if they impound my car, I didn't have the money to take the car out, and people were counting on my car for the show. So, dude, I was freaking out. I was like, I'll never drive a car low, because with the coilovers, you can put it, you can bring it up.
You can dial it in, yeah.
So that was like, I told my dad, and my dad was like, I would never, you're never gonna. So just to give you another idea of how low my car was, I screwed up all my dad's garage floor because it was so low. And then it's funny now because I have a lifted truck now, so people are like, it's not opposite.
Oh, you got a lifted truck, and you have a Corvette that's lowered on stock bolts.
Yeah, it's I to be honest, when I talk to, if you guys follow my channel, I take to Ray, which he has a shop with his son. Limited Auto Lab. If you live in North Jersey, you need a Corvette. Ray is like a passion about it, and he did lower my car because I didn't have like the lift at the time. So I told him to lower as much as he could, but he was very conservative on it.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I'm not to go down more than what you have. You need to upgrade your bolts.
Yes. Yeah, you need the longer bolts. I know. I lowered mine on stock bolts, but not all the way.
I think mine's almost there.
Yeah, I mean, I scrape the bottom air dam on my driveway all the time. I know that thing only sticks up off the ground like this much, but I know it's just plastic, but I just hate the sound of scraping things in my own driveway.
Yeah, I love the fact you can do that. You can lower on your stock boats, but I mean, the only thing is if you do a suspension upgrade, it's so expensive. I was looking at the coilovers, you know what I'm saying? Like that you can do, and you can do yourself, and you know what I'm saying. You learn a lot, but dude, it's like $1,200 for the set.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if that's the same for the C5.
It's around there. You might be able to. Project Dirty can probably chime in on this one, but it's probably around that $1,000 range. I know he's getting them for his C5.
It's the same. Do you have any upgrade suspension on yours?
On mine, no. In my basement right now, I have waiting to go on a car in the spring. I have C6 Z06 shocks, and I'll be getting C6 Z51 sway bars. But that's the only suspension upgrades. A lot of guys also change out the bushings. I thought about that. Since I don't really track the car, maybe I don't really care. But if I'm gonna do the shocks anyway and the sway bar anyway, maybe I'll just do it just to get the most out of the car.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That's one thing I was looking at. The same upgrades that you have, like the sway bar, get the Z06 one, and just see how much better it gets. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Zippity's garage said he has LG coils, and it's well worth the money. Project 30 said about $1,000, and you can get real crazy and have 4K fairly easy.
Yeah, that's it's something that I really want to do because I think it's worth it. And the worst case scenario, if you get rid of the car, you can sell it.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
I mean, if you're not thinking like, I like the idea that you are not selling your car, so you can actually like keep it, whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Don't think like about resale value, but it's something you can sell it. Yeah, for sure.
True. Besides, what was that?
I was looking BC's comment. He said it's key age ones are around $3,000. Yeah, you can go up to. Well, I think the sky's the limit for coilovers. Yeah,
Zippity's garage said at the next takeover, we all trade keys for a ride in each other's car. That's
down.
We can do that. Just put all the keys like into like a bucket or whatever, and just pull a set of keys out and go.
Oh, I'm totally down for it.
And then Project 30 said delete the front sway bar and fat rear drag sway bar. I'm assuming that's what you're gonna do, Ray. He's building more of a drag car than like a
that's the thing, though. It's knowing the limits to have like a nice street car, because I think if you do too much, your car is gonna be so uncomfortable to drive on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm laughing at Zippity's garage comment.
What did he say?
He said Dave can't drive mine. Too many pedals on the floor. I could drive it. I just may stall it a few times.
Dude, I told Dave that he could drive mine when we did the headers. And if you didn't watch the video, you can go to my channel when we were over here. But I told him, like, hey, you want to drive? It was freaking cold. I think it was 25 degrees outside.
Yeah. that's the one reason why I didn't want to drive it. Like, I know when it's that cold out, tires get really tricky. And since I don't know your car and how it drives, I did not want to put it into a bush. So that's why.
You saw the pool that I did. It didn't have any traction. So
yeah. And here they're just chiming in and killing me on the manual stuff. Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny though.
Yeah.
I think your next car should be a manual, so you can stop this joke.
The next Corvette I want to get is a C6Z, and obviously they only come manual, so that's what I want to do. Project Dirty's end goal is $899 in the quarter, full interior, keeping everything but AC. That's quick, man.
That's quick, dude.
That is a quick car.
I think
right now, I think he's on a stock LS1 and he's just shooting nitrous right now. But
it's a manual, right?
No, he's got an auto, and he's gonna. I think he's deciding which transmission he wants to go with. I don't know, Ray. I don't know if you chose whether you go built 4L60 or if you're gonna go Power Glide. But oh, you know what, Mike? Sorry, buddy, I did miss your comment. I was scrolling. I knew you had a comment. Matt, what is your opinion on the tow mirrors on the Colorado? He goes back and forth on the idea for his truck.
Dude, I love it. I mean, probably getting for mine, but I would just put if you're gonna lift your truck, and I know you are. I know Mike is lifting his truck, because otherwise it's gonna look. In my opinion, again, this is my opinion. Nothing against who does. And the only thing is you gotta be willing to put I think the ones they sell it's Boost Auto, which is like $600 for the pair. And that doesn't come. You need to paint, so it's kind of a pricey kind of mod, but I love it. It looks sick. I'll probably do mine at some point, but not now.
Nice. Besides cars and doing YouTube videos, what other hobbies do you have or interests?
No, I'm into guitars. You guys normally see guitars here on the background, but I'm changing the wall, so that's why normally I have like all my guitars hanging here. I'm big in guitars. I play at church at least once a month, so that's my second hobby. And I'm also in sports. I really like to watch sports. It's funny because when I came here, in Brazil we all make jokes about football.
Mm-hmm.
American football, like what the heck's that? The guys are hitting each other. They play with a helmet, and dude, now I cannot miss a game. It's a thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one thing I noticed. There were no posts about the Seahawks this week. Why is that?
Here we go.
Why is that? Huh?
Yeah. That was ready though.
Yeah,
dude, what a bad game. Yeah. So, and I became a Seattle Seahawks fan because I saw when I got here. Long story short, it's about football. Who cares, right? But when I got here, they went to the Super Bowl here at MetLife against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna pick that team because they just won the Super Bowl. Screw it. I want to watch the next season, and I watched the next season. And if you were good in football memory, they played the Packers on the NFC Championship, and that game was crazy. They went to overtime and they won. Mm-hmm. After that day, I was like, I don't care. I'm going to be a Seattle Seahawks fan. So
yeah, Zippity made a joke that the Seahawks was a great game compared to a Steelers game. That Steelers game was hard to watch.
That was awful. that was awful. Dude, can you imagine?
You blink and they were down 21-0.
I missed the first part of the first quarter. When I put on, I was like, something's wrong with this channel.
Yeah. Well, it was like a replay of that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
the snap went low or high. I forget where the snap went, but either way, it was a bad snap. And instead of it being a safety, Cleveland jumped on it for a touchdown. So
that was crazy. Seahawks are a great game.
So PC has a shirt idea for me. If you want to be motivated, you got to
automate it.
But you're not going to buy one. Fine.
Well, the thing about we joke around, but I like autos too, though. Like I think I mentioned to you,
they're getting better. I mean, obviously, you go into a new C8, right? You have the dual clutch. Like, how can you have a? I mean, maybe there will be eventually a better transmission than that, but I mean, before you're done moving your fingers, you're in the next gear already.
I don't know, dude. I have a feeling. I have mixing of feelings about the C8.
Okay. Careful now. We do have a C8 owner in the chat.
I know. I mean, it's a great car. I saw Justin's C8. I sat on it. He even offered to drive for me to drive. We didn't have time for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just have. I don't know. Maybe the Z06 is gonna be. I get what Chevy did. Like, bring a car like that for that price range. It just changed the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know. I have just mix of feelings of it.
Yeah, I hear you. I know when I first saw the C8, I didn't realize how big the rear section of that car was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe if I saw it today, maybe I wouldn't have the same opinion. But I just felt like that rear end went on for days. From the rear window to the back of the car, I was like, wow, that's a long friggin' car. But granted, you have the engine and everything else back there. And a trunk, which I don't think any other mid-engine car has a trunk in the back. So
exactly. Well, I think the mix of like the what intrigues me is, even though everyone was like, you can get one for 60 something, which is not actually true, because nobody gets like the base one, right? Yeah. You always end up being on the 70 range. It's like the C701, right? It's a fantastic car. I just think it's too much money, and I know myself that if I buy a car, I'm gonna even put more money on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have that's why for me it's hard to justify buying $100,000 car. Not that I even can afford it right now, but maybe one day. I don't know if I would buy, because I know myself. I know that I'm gonna spend another 20 grand on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's something that is going to be on my collection, I'm not going to touch it. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't see myself doing that.
Yeah. Zippity just said they're rare, but there was a base, no option C8 at the takeover. It was the red one.
Okay.
He got that. He just give me
Ship it out.
Yeah. I just want it with no options, no nothing, and that's what he got. Project Dirty said he's seen a tune file for the C8, and shift time's going to be dropped down to less than a tenth of a second, which is like insanely quick.
It's already quickly.
It's already quick, and that's just crazy.
This is insane.
And then PC said, anyone seen HPO's recent upload on meeting a trucker? I saw he posted. I just didn't watch it yet.
I saw it.
It's gone viral.
I saw it.
I don't know what PC's definition of viral is, but
probably. I don't know. Well, Justin normally gets a lot of views though anyway. Yeah. So I don't know what's viral. It's a million views. That would be something viral.
True.
Right?
Yeah. So, Mike, thanks for jumping on here, buddy. Appreciate it.
It's passing by bad time.
You got to wake up at 3 a.m.
3 a.m., dude. Go have fun. So go get some right.
Yeah. The one last question I have, and then we can answer anybody else's questions on here, is and you've mentioned this on your channel, and I think I know the car you're going to say, but what's your realistic project car build? Like, what's the car that you want to build that right now you'd be able to build it if you could?
Right now?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe you have to sell the C6, but just to open up the funds.
I have two dreams that I wish. I mean, I'm working towards, right? It's one day have a C601. For now, maybe that can change later on. But if it's not this, I think when I get to the C601, I want to get something else, which would be a Lamborghini Gallardo. That's like I think it's a super car that I can afford one day, right? Okay. But one thing that I really want to do, and that's I
didn't see you saying those two, by the way. But maybe this is the one I thought you'd say.
Yeah, the C601 is definitely on my list. I think it's something I can, if I want to do, if I plan, maybe I can get in 3 or 4 years. Who knows? But one thing, it would be a best combination of a truck in a car would be a C10 with a LS on it.
Okay, that's where I thought you'd go.
That one, and that thing, I think I would learn so much on it. I just think like the hardest part is, first of all, find a C10. They are going up in price like crazy with a good body. And if I found one that's beat up, I could not. I mean, I could try to do the body work myself, but I don't know if it's gonna be good. And you can drop it easy, like 10, 15 grand just in body work. And plus ILS, I would put a LS7 on it. How much is LS? 10 grand.
I don't know. You could probably get an LS7 crate for probably about 10 grand. Yeah, I would think.
Dude, that would be.
I haven't looked at prices, so I have no idea, but I would think you'd probably be able to get one for 10.
That would be my dream, dude. Can you imagine like a C10 lower with a LS7 on it? Oh my gosh. And you can put like race seats on it, like make it interior really nice. That thing, it's a Corvette on a truck, basically. So it's the best of the both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Great White said that his C8, he took it to the track. He does have a couple of videos up on his C8, and it's Accelerate Yellow. But he said it raced. What did he say?
My C8 worked.
It did great. It did great in a race with a Huracan and a McLaren 650S, which is probably even more than half the price, or less, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah. I think supercar territory though is, I would never kill myself to get one. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you're very wealthy and all the kind of stuff. But yeah, the Corvette put everybody on that reality where you can go to a track with a Lambo and McLaren and still be under 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing about Corvette.
Yeah, Duramax Country Boy said he'd take the drive and help you with the body work. And Project 30 said body work isn't a big deal. You just have to learn. It's easy enough to learn.
Yeah, it's one thing that I always thinking like, I think I can learn. You know what I'm saying? And I have been looking one though, for sure. Like I saw a couple like around $5 grand, which would be the price, almost the entire price of the wide body conversion.
Yeah. So, now, sorry, you can go.
No, if you think about like the YouTube perspective, like what is better for content? I think the C10 would bring a lot of content, especially if you do a LS swap on it. It would be like a lot of content. I'm saying like it would take a while because we are not full-time YouTubers. I cannot do this every day, but it would be so much fun to do. I think I would learn so much though. I would make a lot of mistakes, but I would learn so much.
Yeah. Now, one question that was posed to me, I didn't want to answer it in the middle of talking of you talking, so I didn't answer it right away. But whoops, sorry. I'm watching my own YouTube video. I just wanted to see how many people were in the chat. But somebody asked, can you talk about the ECS mail order tune you got on my Corvette? And me and you talked about this for your Corvette.
Yeah, because
yeah, since you only have full exhaust, right? And at the time when I did my mail order tune, that's all I had as well, with an air intake, but that's like Mickey Mouse, so that doesn't really count. But for me, the mail order tune was just to get me by until I did the cam. I didn't know when I was going to do the cam. I knew it would at least be a year, and it turned out to be a little over a year. But anyway, it didn't matter. Just because I wanted the car to run a little bit better, I wanted to get rid of the codes and all that good stuff. But the nice thing about the mail order tune, at least for the C5s, I don't know if it's the same for the C6s, especially even in the automatics, the mail order tune helps improve the shift points. Because I went to ECS and did it, and East Coast Supercharging, they're known in the Corvette world for doing great tunes and great builds and great everything. I think they've set records throughout the years on their C5 on the drag strip. So they have the data log and they have all the information for whatever your car has. They can give you a decent mail order tune to suit. So for the C5 anyway, improved the shift points. I actually improved my MPG by 1 MPG. Who would have thought that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went from like 19 MPG to 20.
That's crazy. I didn't think that would ever touch MPG.
Yeah, and then obviously they sorted out, since I did the headers, I didn't have any more secondary O2 sensors, so they tuned that out. They tuned out the smog pump that I took out. They took out, and it just made the car run better. So I know you and me talked about it for your car. If you're, and I told you, if you're planning to do your cam this spring, then I would just hold off and not even worry about a mail order tune, and not even tune it until you get the cam.
How long took you to mail then and to get back?
Well, ECS luckily is just outside of Six Flags, so I was actually, I was going down to South Jersey. I forget where I was going, West Deptford maybe, something like that. So I was crossing 195 from me to get there, and they're right off 195. So I took it out of my car. I wasn't driving the Corvette that day. I was driving my other car that day.
Okay.
Yeah, and I took the ECU to them, and they programmed it right there, and I just waited in the waiting room for it to get going. But you could drive your car there, and they'll just plug in and do everything, or you can mail them your computer and they'll do it. But it's a great, and it was only $150. Probably the best $150 you can probably spend on any Corvette, because it's going to improve everything. It's just going to run better, and obviously you're going to get a performance bump out of it, and it's only $150. What mod can you do for $150?
Because I did a dyno tune. A dyno tune, the cheapest one I saw was $500.
Yeah,
that was like a on sale kind of thing.
Yeah, I know CSP. When I got my tune done with them, they were running a special that month, so it was $400.
See,
but
and if you need to retune, you pay full price.
At CSP, no. They have different like levels of tune, right? So if you're just like, I forget, I'm just speaking off my memory. You can go to their website and look. They post it all on their website. But let's just say if you just have exhaust, or maybe it's just a stock car and you have nothing done to it, maybe they charge $400, right? If you have like full exhaust, maybe they charge $450. If you have a cammed car, they charge $500. If you have a turbo or pro charger or supercharger or whatever, they charge $600. So as long as when you go to retune, if you're in like, so I'm a cammed car right now. If I went back to them after I did heads, I would still be in the cammed car level. So a retune in that same level is $250.
Okay, so you didn't pay full price.
Correct. Because that actually happened to me, because I had the issue with the springs and the retainers. I don't know if I got the wrong retainers or the wrong springs, but I had to go back for a tune because I had to wait for the right springs to come. So he only charged me $250 for a retune.
Gotcha.
Of course, he took my $400 because I had it all scheduled and all that. But
gotcha.
Shit happens.
Yeah, this is one thing. It's just for you guys know. I was talking with Dave about doing a cam, and the decision about doing the cam, it's very simple. If I give up on the wide body, the cam is gonna happen right now. It's simple like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to have the car for the season when the season comes. And I think the winter is the best time to work on that kind of thing because you really don't drive the car. But we were talking about the tune because I probably have. I don't know, Dave. Probably I will go to CSP too.
Yeah. I mean, it would totally be up to you. I'm sure if you ask Ray, he probably knows somebody that could probably give you a tune nearby. I don't know. I don't know what's up there by you.
It's like, it's really hard to find one because that's like a performance mod, right? Ray does a lot of bon temps thing, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
but we'll see. I mean, I can tow the car. That's the funny thing, though. I think I sent you that the street speed that came on his grandpa C6.
Yes.
And he drove after it. He drove to the dyno. I don't know how far was it. Of course, for me, it would be, I think CSP is like 2 hours from here. 2 hours.
I mean, when you decide on the cam, you can just call them up and see if it's okay to drive on it. Project Dirty did mention that you can buy HP tuners and you can do your own logging on there and you can learn how to tune. That's what CSP uses. They use HP tuners. PC just said Ray will do HP tuners.
Yeah, that one.
I have no idea how to tune, but like, I'm sure like Project Dirty would be like willing to give you like a crash course on tuning if you were really interested in doing it.
Well, there's a shop here near, and actually is the shop that I got my Colorado wheels from. Mm-hmm. And actually, there's a question here from Ryan. What is my opinion about throwing a supercharger in a Colorado? Not for racing, just for more power. That I'm just saying that because when I went to pick up my wheels from a Colorado, the guy offered me to put a turbo kit on my Colorado, and he does tune too. He's like, I can tune your truck because, I mean, tune is something like if you put bigger wheels and tires, you also need to tune your truck because everything is going to be better, like the gears, the shifting. I didn't do mine though. I need to do that, but I'm quite sure that guy he knows somebody to do here in Jersey. It's just because I feel comfortable because you went to CSP, you know how it is. And so far you like it, right? Yeah.
Zippy's Garage just mentioned that he brought his C5Z there, and they built and tuned his.
See?
I will say Andrew over at CSP is a great guy. Like, yes, they do crazy builds over there, right? I mean, they build 1,000 horsepower Camaros and Corvettes like it's going out of style, right? And I go in there with my little just Cam C5. He took the time. He walked, he took the time on the dyno, got it right. He took the time when we took it out on the street to just dial in all the street stuff that goes along with that. He talked to me about everything. And that's all I'm going to say. He's a nice guy, and he took the time to explain everything to me. And he said, if you have any issues with drivability, just let me know. Bring it on back, and we'll see if we can square it away. Yeah. So, I mean, just for that fact that, he's just a nice guy, and he's not like, looking down on you as, okay, you're just a little cam car. Here's your tune and get out of here. Yeah. He took the time, which I thought was awesome.
It's funny you mentioned that because I met him when I went to Cecil that day. And I was talking to him. Dude, he took the time to explain to me exactly the details of the Freedom rocket because he was next to the Nick's, right? Nick's car. And I just went there like to say, hey, hi, I came here for the event. So, and he's like, have you seen, because they just put a new setup on it. And he really spent like probably 15 minutes just explaining the car to me. So he's like a nice guy overall.
Yeah. Zippy said he's one of the best tuners on the East Coast, which is, I mean, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I heard Doug at ECS is really good too.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong if you went to either shop for your tune.
Yeah.
So, I don't have, I did the mail order tune, but I don't have firsthand knowledge of like really getting work done at ECS. So I don't really know, how the experience is.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, what I'm going to do, which would be fun too, is tow the car to CSP. Tow with the truck.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Content, we can stop by Scott's house.
You do the cam at Scott's house and then bring it on over.
Oh yeah, that's a possibility too. But I don't think he want to have like a Brazilian, a bald guy for 4 days at his house.
Yeah, that's true. Zippity said that Doug, he's at ECS, is a great tuner for forced induction, not as good for NA. That's why he would recommend Andrew for any NA tunes.
Yeah, I think CSP would be the thing. I'm just debating which kind of cam I want to put it on.
And you can either reach out to Andrew at CSP or Alex. He answers the phones, and they can walk you through that. They'll ask you what your what your end goal is, what you use the car for, and all that good stuff. And either they'll recommend a cam to you, or
as far as my research was going, which again I'm learning about all this stuff because I'm doing a lot of research, what kind of things I need. You know what I'm saying? I think a BTR Stage 3 it's on the top of the list for now.
Project Dirt. We talked about this at the first live stream that I did testing this new software here. We talked about cams and what's the best. Like, I'm not going to say the best, right? Because the best is very subjective to everybody.
As much as your money can buy is the best.
Yes. We were talking about Stage 2, Stage 3 cams and all that stuff, and what is the better cam for a typical street car. And Ray can chime in if he wants, but
why you went with 2?
What's that?
Why you went with Stage 2?
I went with a Stage 2.
Like when you did your research, like why exactly you pick it? Mainly
because my car's an auto car. If you go anything bigger than a Stage 2, you definitely need a converter, a higher stall converter. So I would have to go to like a 3200 or 3000, something like that, which I'm still going to do. But at the time, I didn't want to do it. So I went with the Stage 2 because with the Stage 2, as long as you have a good tuner, which Andrew is a good tuner and he tuned it right, you're not going to have any surging issues or pushing through the brakes or any issues with your stock stall. And that's exactly what I wanted for the time. Also, the Stage 2 is you have power everywhere with a Stage 2. Not saying you don't with a Stage 3, but the higher you, from what I know, the higher you go up in your stages, you're going to give up a little bit on the low end, but you're going to have that on the high end with the bigger cams.
Okay.
And you're going to give up a little bit of drivability as well.
Gotcha.
So that's why I went with a 2, just because it's a street car, it's a cruiser car. I didn't want to update or install a new stall yet. Like I said, I will be doing it. Just I didn't want to do it at the time. I was already spending whatever the hell I spent, and I didn't want to spend another $600-700 on another converter. So,
yeah, all right, that makes sense. So, I just wanted that chop.
Yeah, and we talked about that then too in that one. So he just responded: if it's not dedicated track car, you will feel faster in the RPM range. You will spend 90% of your time. So it comes to if you are willing to give up the low end torque for that little bump at 6,500.
That's
what he's saying. Like, is the difference between like a Stage 3 and a Stage 2? I think.
Okay.
Zippity said, question for experienced YouTubers: if you want to use copyrighted music for a quick segment, I believe YouTube will allow it if under a certain time frame. Yeah, it's either 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's 10 seconds.
I think it might be 10. I thought it was 15 at one point, but I think it's 10 now.
I start avoiding that thing though.
Yeah.
One day I added a video and I think it had like 14 seconds of some kind of songs.
Yeah.
And I got flagged. I was like, you know what? I'll just use copyright free.
The one thing I always recommend when you do, and this goes to you, Jeff, and anybody else on here that makes YouTube videos, and Matty, you already do it. When you are going to upload a video, like I have a video going live tomorrow night, so it's already on YouTube. It's just waiting for me to publish it. Do that instead of
just
let me upload this video and publish it at the same time. Few things wrong with that. One, the quality of the video is not going to be good because YouTube takes a little bit of time to process your videos. So if you made it in 1080p or 4K or whatever, it's going to start out at like whatever the hell the resolution, 480p, right? And it's going to be 480p for like the first hour. So whoever watches your video in the beginning, is going to see a horrible video. And there's nothing, as the old saying goes, right? You only make a first impression once. So upload your video, have it waiting, let it process fully, and then put it out there. Second reason for doing that, if you do have the copyrighted music in there, you will get a copyright strike. And it'll tell you, hey, you have copyrighted music on here and you're going to be in trouble, or what? Not in trouble, but anything you make on this video is going to go to those people instead of you. So then you're like, oh shit, okay. And then you just take it down.
Yeah.
And then you re-edit it and then put it back up the right way. That's all.
Yeah. But
those are the reasons why I always...
Yeah, what I found was a challenge is like if I'm, for example, I'm in a car wash, right? And this place, they are playing some music there, right?
Yes.
And that's why normally I throw a time lapse there, because you can put a copyright, no copyright music on top of it. I just try to avoid that thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of copyright, copyright free music on YouTube. It's just the one less thing to worry about. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And Zippy, maybe you don't know, but if you go on your
YouTube Studio.
Yeah, YouTube Studio, there's music on there that you can use.
Yeah, there's a library you can go.
That's all. I forget what the word is at the moment. I forget what they call it, but it's music that you can use.
Yeah, it's a library. It's copyright. It's no copyright, I think.
There's a term for it. I just forget what the term is.
Yeah, I forgot to be honest.
But whatever. But yeah, if you go into your YouTube Studio, there's a library there on free music that you can use. Since I upgraded my phone editing software, which again was the PowerDirector, when I updated it, it allowed me to use their music.
Mm-hmm.
So I use their music mostly, but yeah.
Well, I don't know if Ryan's still here. He asked me if it's worth to do a supercharger on a Colorado. I think it depends on what you want, because that's gonna cost you money, a lot of money. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna just have more power to tow? I don't even know if that's a thing. For that price, what I would do, if it was me, right, I would get rid of my Colorado and get a diesel one. So if just for towing,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But if you want to do like a track truck, like lower, and that's a different conversation.
Yeah, and then Zippity said he wants to use Zippity Doodad in the intro that he's working on, and it's at 9 seconds. You might be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
I never did it, but I wanted to do Wiz Khalifa's Black and Yellow, just because my car's black and yellow. I've never actually like edited it to make it work, but that's what I wanted to do.
Dude, you should do one video like change the color of your Corvette. I think that would get a lot of views. Like a Blast Deep or whatever, rap, just for a while.
I need more subscribers than that.
I know. Trust me.
I need to pay for that material.
I know.
But are there? But also that comes with the need for a 4600 stall and realizing it's going to be a dog down low. They're just talking about custom ground cams and all that. Okay.
So that's the other thing about the cam though, because I was about to call BTR.
Mm-hmm. I spoke when I was looking at the cam too. I spoke with Craig over at BTR.
So what do you? My thing is what information they need, because it's pretty straightforward, right? I have a C6 Corvette LS2. What is your best bet for that car, right?
Yeah, and then he's going to ask
miles probably.
Yeah, he's going to ask you again. Best is very selective, so or very subjective. I mean, so like, what are your goals? What do you use the car for? And what is your driving style like? And he'll match you up either with one of their BTR stages or a custom grind.
Gotcha.
Like you said, like, you know, you want You want the chop chop. Everybody wants the chop chop. That's the one thing about the Stage 2. I wish it had a little bit more chop.
And that's the only reason why I've considered the Stage 3, because I was watching a lot of stuff, reading a lot of stuff. When you see the Stage 2, sounds great. I watch a couple of your videos, sounds fantastic. But when you compare with the Stage 3, the chop chops is just like insane.
Yeah, when I did my National Chop Chop Day video last year, I had, I think, my car, and then I had Jamal's garage's car, like either one or two cars after mine, but he has a Stage 3 in his, and that thing just sounds friggin' killer.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Said LSA is the biggest factor in chop. Yeah, I forget what the Stage 2 can. It's like a 115 LSA or something like that. So, Ray, like lower the number, right? So if you're at like a 112 or a 110 LSA, you're gonna have more chop, I guess. Ray, Project 30, he used to own and operate. I think he owned and operated. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like a kind of like a speed shop. So he's been there, done that with LS engines.
Oh, nice. So we are hearing from the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing though, because I was like, I'll call BTR, because I wanted the entire. I want to do more than just do the cam. I want to upgrade things. Since the thing is gonna be open, might as well just get a bunch of new stuff. That's why I have to do. That's one thing I need to do. Like regardless if I'm gonna do the cam or not, my water pump start leaking. So I have to do that. The water pump is sitting on my garage. So I'm holding on that because I'm deciding, if I'm going to put the cam, might as well I put the pump when I put the cam. And I'm saying, like, I don't want to open, and not that you need to open the entire thing to do the pump, but since it's going to be, I'm going to have access to it, might as well just, wait for the cam and do everything at once. Yeah,
now Project 30 put a custom grind with a Stage 2 lift and duration on a 109 LSA will drive decent and chop harder than a lumberjack. Now he's getting my wheels spinning on replacing my cam, because I mean, I love it. That's the one. I wish it just chopped a little bit more. That's all.
But how do you like how it drives?
I love how it drives. Anything above like 2,500 to like 3,000 RPM, the car it's a totally different car.
How is the drone?
Oh, I have horrible drone. I had that before the cam.
That's something I'm probably mentioning on the video that I'm gonna post this week, which is fixing the things that we forgot about when we did the headers. But dude, my drone's so bad too.
Yeah, but at least you have mufflers.
Yeah,
I don't have mufflers. Mine. I mean, it always droned, but before the cam, if I hit like around, say, I don't know what the RPM is, but because I don't care because I have an automatic, but like between like 68 miles an hour and like 82 miles an hour.
That's the sweet spot.
That was like the sweet spot where drone would like almost go away. But now with the cam, forget about it.
Did you have phones?
Yeah, almost. My ears are when we went out to Carlisle, because that was I don't forget how many miles that trip is. 200 miles, let's just say. Yeah. My ears were ringing when I got there. So.
That's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. Well, I'll do a cam for sure. I will do a cam. And to be honest, dude, for example, just the headers that we did, a lot of people gave me a hard time. Oh, Speed Engineers had headers and X5. Dude, for the price I paid.
Project 30 will chime in on this as well. You got stainless headers. What's so different between Speed Engineering's headers and Cook's headers?
Exactly. And you saw the quality. Like if you look at the welding, it's not bad. Yeah. I mean, I can tell more. Like maybe after a year and a half drive the car, I'll have more like your opinion. Okay, this is really bad, or that doesn't really matter. But for the price you pay, because I was looking at Texas Speed, cooks. It's like $2,000 just for what I put it for $400.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
Like
not
that.
saying those systems aren't good. I'm just
No,
saying.
they probably, you get what you pay for. I get that. You know what I'm saying, but
Yeah, because when Andrew was taking me for the drive around with when we were tuning the cam, I was asking him about the ticking that you hear, when especially I don't know if you hear it now, but usually when you go to headers, you start to hear it. It just sounds like a sewing machine, and maybe the LS ones are a little bit worse than LS2s. I don't know, but when you cam the car, you're probably going to hear it too. It's just you're just going to hear it. And I asked him, I was like, well, I have Texas speed headers. Like, would that be different? Like if I went with a different header? And he's like, the only way it would be different is if you kept stock manifolds on. He's like, every exhaust manufacturer just thins the wall up, for cost savings and for everything else. He's like, even if you had $2,000 Cook's headers on here, it would still sound the same.
see.
So, but you wrapped yours.
Yeah,
so
I did.
wrapping it might help as well with the sound.
I wish I could wrap it more like into like the X pipe, almost all the way. But then you were talking about like $300 just from wrapping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Project 30 said actually the material is thicker than Cook's. I don't know because I've never held Cook's, but I'm sure he has. So, and PC said your headers looked like chrome. Well, they were just stainless with
polish.
Just a polished stainless.
Which doesn't really matter because I cover with the wrap.
Yeah, and once they heat up, it's gonna go away anyway.
And just to let you guys know, they melt my O2 sensor cover. So
yeah, I thought I told you to zip tie them away from your exhaust manifold.
You did. You said, but I drove it once, and I think that was enough to melt it.
Okay.
You're gonna see on my next video.
I mean, I don't have anything else, Matty.
I think we are almost 2 hours in, dude. Oh my gosh, I talked too much.
Yeah, we are 2 hours in. But I just wanted to say thanks for jumping on. I mean, it was a fun little discussion. I don't know how many people are still on here. I can jump on. I think
we have 8 people.
Yeah. I don't know how many people are still on here. As I hear my leg. Yeah, 8 people.
Yeah, dude. Thanks so much. This is great. I hope you keep doing it.
Yeah.
If you ever want to meet back to have a 2 hours conversation, you are welcome.
Yeah.
And of course, we're gonna do more stuff together. I hope we do. Thank you so much to everybody who is watching here. That was great. I hope we answer all the questions. I might do something similar for truck people, so they can answer. They can have their questions. Because people, when I remember when I got Corvette, people are like, "Oh, you're doing what everybody else is doing, getting a Corvette." Dude, Corvette's a Corvette. You cannot say no to a Corvette. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
And you always mention it too. Let's just say you get 5,000 views on a truck video, right? You put out a Corvette video, you're probably lucky to get 1,200 views on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In relation, you're gonna get like a quarter of the views.
And that's one thing. Also, I mean, we are almost done here, but that's just like I do because I like it. I don't do because of the views. You know what I'm saying? Like, if one day my YouTube turns to a business, then I might just me looking at, okay, let's do just truck stuff. But right now, I'm learning a lot. Like when we do the headers, I hope we can do the cam together. It's gonna be sweet.
We can do that.
Yeah,
it's not my car. It'll look good from my house. Actually, Project 30 said when he took his tuning class, the instructor said the LS tick gets worse with headers because it resonates them. Yeah, that's kind of what Andrew said to me. I guess the stock manifolds are just thicker. The material is different, and all that just helps deaden the sound of the LS tick. And when you go to aftermarket header that are stainless, they're thinner wall, they're just different material and all that. They, you just hear the LS tick a lot worse. On my car, it was so bad I thought I had an exhaust leak at first because I didn't know what it was. So, but now I know it's LS tick.
Learn it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, but
All right, buddy.
thank you, Matty. Next week I have Nick from Paradise C6 coming on. So another C6 Corvette.
I'll talk to him about the C6 wide body because he has it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Make sure you're on, and you can.
I'll be here. I'll be here. I'll talk to him.
And he has man. He's got a lot in his garage now. He was picking up cars left and right. I couldn't even keep up. But I think now he slowed down a little bit. Yeah. He has the Bronco. He has a 240Z. He has just his regular daily truck. I think he had like a BMW at one point too. Yeah. So I mean, we'll talk to him about everything, just like we just chatted with you.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see. I'll be here for sure.
Yep. So, thanks everybody for joining me and Matty. Matty, again, thanks for jumping on here.
Sure.
And maybe we'll do this again just to hang out.
You guys get some rest. I'll see you guys soon.
Yes. Have a good night, guys. See you on the